You're watching NCAA on campus on CBS College Sports. I'm Kat Anderson at Ohio Wesleyan University in Delaware, Ohio. For our next story, we head east and turn things over to Columbia University student athlete and soccer goalkeeper, Lindsay Danielson.
Welcome to Columbia University on the island of Manhattan in the city of New York. The school began as King's College in 1754, and boy, what a history we have. The first United States Chief Justice, John Jay, and the first U.S. Treasury Secretary, Alexander Hamilton, are grads. And right now in Washington, D.C., you can find Columbia grads Attorney General Eric Holder, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the President himself, Barack Obama, class of 1983. This is the birthplace of FM radio, the laser, and the Dewey Decimal System. And while you might not think of Columbia as an athletic power, we beat Stanford in the 1934 Rose Bowl. We had the first college wrestling team in the nation, and Baseball Hall of Famers Eddie Collins and Lou Gehrig played here, as did Football Hall of Famer Sid Luckman. Our fencing team is one of the best in the nation, 13 NCAA team titles and 32 individual champs. And adding his name in 2008 to that list of national champions was Jeff Spear, also an academic All-American with a 4.07 GPA in one of our easier majors, evolutionary biology of the human species.
Being a student athlete at Columbia is, it's a lot of work. I also think it's a big privilege. We are representing our school at other schools and in some ways in the larger community. I wouldn't know how to live my life without athletics. I love fencing. I love playing a sport. If I take a couple of days off and don't work out, I start to get all jittery.
Everybody here at Columbia is rather intelligent, frankly. Jeff stands out not only for his high academics, but he's very intelligent about the sport. Each time a touch is scored, fencer has a few seconds to think about what their next action is going to be. And that requires a very quick analysis of their opponent and also a selection on the athlete's part as well. And Jeff is usually very good about selecting the right one.
I train about 20-25 hours a week. You spend time working on technical, tactical with your coach and with your teammates drilling, and the same with footwork. You also do cardio workouts a couple times a week, lifting a couple times a week, and a lot of plyometric workouts.
How Jeff chose Saber over the other fencing options isn't exactly the stuff of great destiny.
I actually picked Saber because it was the only weapon at the club where I started. It's not something I regret. I love fencing Saber. It tends to be faster than the other weapons. There are 3 weapons in fencing: the foil, epee, and the saber. Foil is you have to hit with the point, and you have the target area is your torso. Epee you also have to hit with the point, but you can hit anywhere on the body, and saber you hit above the waist, and you can hit with either the point or the blade.
2 years ago, as a sophomore, Jeff Spears was the NCAA champion in Saber.
I was surprised myself, actually. I mean, obviously you want to win, but I hadn't been going in there with that as a major expectation.
Last year, the defending champion finished 7th.
It was disappointing not to be able to go farther and to keep fencing, but it also is part of the sport. Winning and losing, it all comes. I've won a lot, I've lost a lot, and that's how sports works. Getting to the final match at NCAA championships is really a test of endurance and not only physical, but also mental. There's a couple of bets. You can say, well, if I'd only gotten another 2 touches in this bout, if I hadn't let this person get these 2 touches in that bout, things might have been different. Yeah, it's a long trek to make it there, and you have to be able to keep your head and keep your body together.
Jeff has had a front row seat to watch the growth of his sport.
The U.S. Fencing Association has tens of thousands of members now, and it's been growing ever since I started. When I started fencing, you might have 50 people in a competition. This past weekend, I went to a U.S. Fencing Association competition, and there were 150. Part of it, I think, has to do with the success that we've been having. The U.S. team won 6 medals at the last Olympics. I love to fence because being on the fencing strip is this culmination of all of those years of training, all of those years of experience, and even before I started fencing, all of those years of tradition in the sport. And it all comes together. You're out there, you're fighting, you're doing something physical, you're trying to outthink your opponent, outwit your opponent, working with both your opponent and the referee, and it all comes together in this sort of giant rush of adrenaline and passion.